Why was eBay reselling so important to me and how has it changed my life now? So one of the reasons it's extremely is important because I find myself using the skills I built reselling all those years into things right now. And one of the easiest ways to explain that would be Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times I come across products, things that I no longer need, and I can just list it on Facebook, but I'm not just listing it like everybody else. I have like the best way to list it because I have more time on task than a lot of people on the platform. I also understand what the buyers are looking for, one of which is the best price. I mean, that's obviously one of the best sales tactics, but sometimes the person selling things on Marketplace, they don't understand that it's not a good price for the consumer. Like it may feel like a good price to them, but then in all reality, the person buying it used or questionable condition, they're not willing to pay that much. So another thing I've noticed about Facebook Marketplace is adding video content. So I recently made a post on this coffee table. It was a very elegant coffee table. It sells between 280 and like 330 on, Walmart Marketplace or Amazon. And it has storage in the little stools. It's like a wood top. And I saw that I could list it for about $200. And even though mine was like new, it was brand new, I just assembled it for a video review for the company. It was not getting the most traction. I mean, it got a few messages right away. I think I had two women that were interested in it, but they weren't able to meet up whenever I was able to meet up. And then I had a gentleman that offered 150 for it. I'm gonna hold off for the 200 because I do think it's worth that. However, I was considering hitting up the guy for 150 because it would have been a quick sale and that's just nice cash flow to have. But one thing that I noticed when I checked the listing the next day was the amount of views I had for the 13-second video that I made for it was off the charts. A lot of times Facebook Marketplace will put that, well, I think every time, they'll put the video first. So as soon as someone goes to the listing, I think the video starts playing and then you have your photos. So now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should make a video all the time. Maybe not the most curated video like high edits and voiceovers and sound effects and things like that, but just something to kind of get the listing going. And without the initial understanding of like eBay reselling where you need like a good title, a good description, I probably wouldn't be able to get some of the sales that I've been getting as quickly. And I really don't like to have things on Marketplace for more than a week because I feel like it does kind of just go into the abyss. One thing that I noticed especially though was people are buying. Like even though times are tough, people are constantly looking for deals. I was able to salvage some of the items that didn't work for our remodel that we weren't able to take back to the stores. I had posted both of those in kind of rough picture condition because I just didn't want to stage it properly and they did not sell. And then I decided to actually clean up the area and stage them properly and then they sold within a week. So that's just one example of understanding like good photos, good listings, you can get there. Now, I know a lot of people have talked about like AI listings, and I never really looked into the tools on eBay for that. But what I have been doing is I've been going to the actual like Amazon listing or the Walmart listing and then taking their descriptions and then putting it on my marketplace listings because they're already curated. Those people spend a lot of time figuring it out, and then I'll kind of change it if I think it needs to be changed, or I'll add something which I think is something a lot of people are overlooking. If you're trying to resell an item or sell an item brand new, one of the strategies you can use is find out what people are questioning about it and then answer that question within the first sentence. For example, the coffee table that I was selling, it's pretty short. It's pretty low to the ground. The stools are short. One common question might be like, does this fit? Like, what's the size? So you can either put that in the title or the first line of the description, say, this is a short coffee table, but it is wide. It is a square. Whatever it needs to be. You can actually go to the feedback on Amazon or Walmart and kind of find what the most negative feedbacks are about a product and then answer that question. So that is kind of like a little bit of a strategy that works. Now, I know if you're mass selling clothes, which I saw a guy on Instagram had a nice video. It was really reminiscent of myself making content on this. He was part-time. He had a large like board with a bunch of lamps and stuff, LED lights, things that I totally like could vibe with. And it was just refreshing to see that people are out there just doing what they can to get that little bit extra cash flow, so they can like supplement their life. And nowadays, a lot of times reselling, like you really have to do a lot to get enough income to live comfortably because I feel like everything has just gone up like crazy. I can't even go to the grocery store without spending like 20 to like 60 items. And then when I look at the bags, it's like 4 to 8 items. And I was just like, man, times are really getting tough. So having the ability to resell like on Facebook and just market things well, I think is a skill that's just never going away. Now, as far as video content goes, one of the reasons I switched to that is because there's so many companies out there that have massive amounts of revenue that just need a voice or somebody to create a picture, an image, a video, something to show their brand, like what they are to the world. And a lot of these companies are not American companies. There's companies from all over the world, Australia, China, Indonesia. There's all these different companies selling things that they don't have like an American voice. So I'm kind of providing that bridge, that gap with the skills that I have. One of which is Kufandy's clothing. Kufandy is a clothing brand that I worked with for the past, pretty much since I left eBay. And they're tremendous. So I'm actually going to be running live streams on this YouTube channel and my TikTok account simultaneously, which I have never done before. And they also want me to record the stream, which is going to be a little bit of a like load on the equipment, but it'll be fine. So if you guys want to check out how those streams work, you can tune into the live stream that I'm going to run on this channel. And I'm also going to upload a shorts video because they want me to kind of promote it ahead of time with a shorts video on TikTok. And I'm just going to put that same one on YouTube, which is a good piece of advice. If you guys are making content, if it's in the correct format, like vertical format or horizontal like this video is, you can cross post those to different platforms and kind of like see which ones do better. I've had some viral clips, videos from reselling days where they did well on TikTok, but maybe didn't do well on Facebook, or they did well on Facebook and didn't do well on Instagram. It's just so many different avenues that those can go. But if you just shoot the same video out to a bunch of places, you'd be surprised like what can happen with that. I will kind of want to push a little bit with the promotion of live streaming for companies because it's really good money. I mean, obviously they're paying me. If you guys like the clothes, now I'll tell you, out of this lot for Kufandy, some of the items are not my style, but then others actually are. So I get the benefit of getting to talk about them, and then obviously I get to keep them and, resell them if I want or however I feel like doing it. But I think it's a good way to kind of give the brand an example of like what it would look like, and then also give you guys an opportunity to see like a little bit of what the clothes are all about. Since I'm not reselling and not going to the thrift stores, I have like dwindled my supply of like nice clothes that I used to thrift. I'm talking like not even like super expensive brands, but just always having quality brands. Like I liked Lucky Brand chino shorts, Lululemon chino shorts, Lululemon pants, cargo, like American Eagle camouflage cargo shorts. I used to love those, which I still do, but I don't have that ability to get those items as easily. Now I've looked on eBay at some of y'all's prices and they're dead on, but it's more thrilling to find it in the thrift. So having the advantage of doing content for companies, I actually get free clothes now. And that's really nice because, some of them are just not really my style, but then others absolutely are. So I kind of get a little bit of that. Kind of like the shirt I have on here. It's just a plain black shirt, but something about this material is really nice and really comfortable, and I've kind of fell in love with them. So unfortunately, those people didn't want to work with me like much else, because I demanded like money and they just wanted to give me the shirt for free, which I did a couple times. But now I got to focus my time and energy. I mean, certain things make a lot of money, certain things don't make any money, certain things take time to grow something that could potentially make money, and then other things don't. So what I've noticed in business is you constantly have to be moving and improving. I noticed with eBay, I started getting into this lull of just not learning as much, and also not understanding like the cycle of the thrift store restocks. And a lot of that was location based. I feel like I had such a good understanding though through the years that I was kind of progressing, that I can still apply those skills today, like I said with the Facebook example. I do enjoy the thrift content. I still feel like I come across new people and new faces. I'm kind of more for the short form because I don't have as much blocks of time where I can sit and watch something. I used to do that whenever I was, like taking photos or listing. I would have something on in the background. Now I'm pretty much in front of the camera a lot. I'm talking a lot. I'm setting up shots. I'm kind of like experimenting with products, talking about shoes. I was streaming some Bruno Mars shoes, which this is one of their best sellers that I've gotten a lot of colors, and I love the black one. But, trying to come up with ideas, creative things so that I can, make more money. And I've just found that there's higher ticket opportunities through what I do now than going to the thrift like I used to. If you guys feel like, it's not great what you're doing, you're not making enough money. What you are doing is you're building skills that are going to translate for a long time. I don't think there's ever going to be a day where you can't resell something to another person. I feel like it's one of the oldest kind of professions and something that, people are always going to be doing. So if you're able to find that customer's need, if you're able to explain it to them well, if you're able to be like clear, honest, and upfront with what exactly you're showing them so they understand what they're getting, then you're going to be good to go. I hope this was a nice little refresher video. Update on the studio before I get off. It is tremendous. I filmed some videos over there. I was looking at the time bar of how the sound is because I did all the soundproofing. That was tremendous. I know that last video didn't do well at all. That's fine. I just want to have these videos for more of like the purpose of when I started YouTube, not just trying to like make a bunch of money on views. I was trying to log my life, and I feel like when I did start making viral content or gaining followers, I lost track of what I really wanted YouTube for, and it's a video diary of my life and business, so that my son Seth, and then my next son Silas, which my wife is 8 months and 4 days pregnant, so hang in there, babe. We're gonna get this next one out, and I just want them to have an understanding of like what I was like through the years when I was like more youthful, because they're just gonna know me as like the older guy, like the old guy, and I want to kind of show how I was able to build something and kind of like make things happen and tell them where all the money for their toys and food came from. So if you guys enjoy just my content or enjoy anything, business related, reselling related, video content related, I'm going to try to just explain a little bit of how things are going on this channel. And I truly enjoy everyone who comments. I do want to give a shout out to the Chicago Bears. We beat the Washington Commanders 25-24 last night on Monday Night Football. It was an excellent time to watch the game and root on my favorite team for a win. So anyway, with that said, I'll see you guys hopefully during the live stream for Kufanda. You guys can kind of tune in if you want, or just hang out at the very least. It'd be cool to have somebody keep me company while I do that. But again, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.